Arctic maker for international boxing news here with Sonny Edwards at the gym. Just get ready to start training. How are you feeling, Sonny?
Yeah, feeling good. Caught me 10 in the morning on a Monday. Yeah, feel good. So a bit frustrated with what's been happening over the last few weeks. I've not really done any interview actually. I think it's my first one, to be fair. Yeah, a bit frustrated, but still training, still here, still improving, working away, and hopefully get my mandatory finalised and secured for this year. I don't want it to drag on. I want to clear up this mandatory and then look for big fights next year.
I know you said obviously about the frustration with the Julio Cesar Martinez fight. We spoke to Maxi Hughes. Obviously, he near enough had a fight with Ryan Garcia that fell through. Is it frustration you're feeling? You're going to take that into the ring?
I don't know. I think it's more that for the last 3 years I've been trying to make the fight, and for the first time we'd agreed date, we'd agreed terms, we'd agreed location pretty much, we'd agreed purse, show, you know what I mean? It was like, everything had been agreed for 6 weeks. I am working with a nutritionist for the first time in my life. I've got my strength coach. I went to Albania to stay training and be with my coach and my assistant coach and my nutritionist out there. Like, it's frustrating, and money don't really care, but I spent probably about 3-4 grand already on this camp and going forward on where I would, of what I would want to have been doing, for the 22nd of October. And in some ways it's just a waste, but like you said off camera, I'm not in the worst shape, haven't got a fight there yet. We'll still at least get 10-12 weeks notice because I'm a world champion. People ain't rushing me into a boxing ring no more. I've been every single time I got rushed in getting here. I'm not getting rushed in now. I'm always in the gym, I'm always training, I'm always dedicated and wanting a big fight. So yeah, I won't ever get rushed in the gym, in a ring now. But yeah, hopefully late November, early December. Felix Alvarado, he's very, very tough. He's 38-2. He's my mandatory challenger. He's got 36 or 34 or 35 knockouts or something. He was the reigning light flyweight IBF world champion. He moved up as the champion, wanting to face me. And if I'm honest, I relished all of that. Like, this is the first time in my 6-year pro career, that any opponent that's pointing at me and start walking towards the fight. Every other single fight, I'm the one that mentions the fight first, and then I never know where to be seen. Every fighter I've tried to get in the ring hasn't. This year alone, on everything I hold dear to me, Dalakayan didn't want to fight on the Usyk AJ undercard. We had a unification option for that we spoke about, non-starter. Ricardo Sandoval, the day before his mandatory was getting called by the board and they noted, chose that he's actually going to fight in a final eliminator for WBA against some 11-0 kid, ended up getting beat. But I knew that was going to happen. If you're that cowardice of the big fight, you're going to get exposed. And then Martinez this time, after 3 years of chasing the fight, ever since he got out of the ring with my brother, a year and a half as world champion, think we're getting over the line, money agreed, not life-changing money, but a house or two up here, do you know what I mean? Very, very good money for a flyweight, you know what I mean? And the first step on where I was going, like, it's everything that I wanted. It had the legacy, it had the excitement, the entertainment, even like the skills and the level of what the fight is. It ticked all the boxes, I think. So it's more just frustrating at the fact that after all that time I thought I had it, for it literally to get dropped in just an interview like, oh, actually, I don't think that fight is going to happen now. Like, hold on, I've been sat here training for 6 weeks and the first time hearing about it
was that the first time you heard about it?
I'd heard whispers, but nothing. I'd heard whispers that, and more because of how long it was taking and that the date was coming up, that the IBF needed to have things signed by, and it was more that, like, they weren't actual, oh, just to let you know, Sonny, this is what's happening because of this. Even now I don't know. I've seen that Martinez got back to training with Reynoso within a week. The fight's not happening.
It's October 22nd.
Of course we'll still fight there. But what I'm saying is he got with Reynoso, back training with him, and about a week or two later, if that, he's no longer fighting me. When the last 5-6 weeks he's been fighting me. He's been training in sweatsuits for the last 5-6 weeks ever since we spoke about this. So I've been watching him, we've got each other on Insta. But I just think Reynoso got him in and said, yeah, you're miles off being able to fight him. And that's what I think it is. I reckon I'll give him this 37-year-old South African, Jackson Chwak, I think his name is. Which I suppose is just like my Maruti fight, except one was unbeaten 13-year legit 2 times world champion, and the other one never seen before.
Did you ever sign your part of the deal?
Didn't sign, never got a contract. Agreed to everything, and I could show you the message, oh yeah, the contract should be this week. Yeah, we told her, expect the contract next week. But we was just sort of waiting for things to go through, and then even when they did go through and we got the sort of green light on what they wanted the green light on, nah.
Is that fight more about your legacy and getting a unification, or, I know you said obviously your brother did lose to Martinez, or is it to avenge that defeat, obviously, because it is your brother?
Neither. It's for attention. It's for the biggest fight in the division. It's for, if that DAZN schedule came up and Martinez versus Edwards was on there, it would have been one of the better fights on that whole 12 card schedule that they released, in my opinion. Because I think it ticks all the boxes. Winning that fight, the gate that fight opens sets me up for massive fights, massive purses, massive exposure, massive nights. Going to Mexico, unifying with all that story, coming back and defending against Bam Rodriguez. This was my plan in my head. In London, 02. That was like reasonable.
That'd be huge.
That was reasonable.
Bam Rodriguez over here would be huge.
But think about, like, you know, if they made the Martinez fight and that happened and I beat him, why wouldn't that be logically realistic? Like, why wouldn't them fight? And it will never be. Like, people haven't got to worry about me getting in a good place and headlocking belts and hiding. Like, anytime someone thinks someone's good, like, when there's a general consensus that there's a fighter out there in my way that people think is as good or better than me, I promise you he's up who I want to fight next. Every single time. It's not even...
Do you take that as confidence, that they don't want to fight you?
Yeah, like I've said before, yeah? Don't judge me on what I say, don't judge me on my performances even, don't judge me on anything, yeah? Except how the rest of my rivals have always dealt with me. From Southern area level and English level, Harvey Horn, Joe Mafosa, Tommy Frank, I couldn't fight them for love nor money. British level, it took 18 months to get one, and it was an easy touch in Braithwaite, and then I was an 18-month British champion. You saw every single British board circular that came through the next 18 months. Not one mandatory was made. Not one person in super flyweight I was the British champion requested to fight for my belt. We offered the fight to everyone else. I accepted the fight with Thomas Essomba on the basis that I'm defending my British title against him. Found out a few days later that he couldn't fight for the British title at that time. He can now. Like, I wanted to win it outright, definitely couldn't because of the lack of opposition. I've got to world level and I've tried to unify with 2 of the unifications this year, and both of them have gone sideways. One a lot more later than the other one, but it's frustrating, and I don't think they know how to deal or digest my confidence. Like, the fact that I will genuinely, and they know that I will genuinely, like Eddie Hearn now especially knows that I will genuinely make the deal, agree to everything you want me to agree. I've said to him, you can put me in the mountains at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can put me in the middle of the desert, as long as there's a 20-foot standard size ring is the only thing I care about. I don't want anything else. You can send me somewhere where it's 10,000 feet up in the air, anywhere. I said that to him, I promise you I said that to make this fight happen. With
the fight with Martinez not happening now, obviously it will be on mandatory Felix Alvarado. Can you tell us when that will be, and will that be on the maximum card?
Nah, I don't think so, unless they make a play for the fight. I know Alvarado's fought on a couple of DAZN fights, him and his brother, a couple of big cards, I think a Garcia one along those lines. Yeah, unless they make a play for the fight, which I can't see them doing. If anything, it's back to Sonny don't exist, really. You know what I mean? They went from mentioning me to all the fighters until, oh, now it's not happening. Sonny don't exist, it's fine. Everyone knows that, dude. They will never have a fighter right now until they, you know, get that fight with me. They'll never have a fight in the same division as me. A fighter that won't have no question marks, because there will always be that. And until I start losing and get sort of disregarded as a formidable opponent, in the sense of I'm very hard to win rounds again, it's very hard to land 2 or more shots in a row again. It's like, until they do that, then they're just going to get tortured. Like, look at the response since Martinez has ducked me. If he has or not is by the by, but I'm here, hand up, saying I'm still ready for the fight. They're not. They're talking about 37-year-old, never champion African fighters.
When will that fight happen with Felix Alvarado? Has there been a date?
Hopefully November, December, before this year. All I've asked for is this stalled it a little bit, because I had one thing in mind, and you know what I mean. This has stalled it a bit, because I've had a little week where maybe mentally not as switched on. Obviously, it's a big thing to lose out on, a life-changing fight. So yeah, maybe late November, early December would be ideal for me. I don't know what plans they have. I think they're at my sort of mercy a little bit. So I think they want to make the fight. Sean Gibbons, we've made. I've had fights made with him before and step asides with him before, so we've already worked around each other. So it should be an easy fight to make. I'm happy with it. I genuinely think Alvarado is a formidable opponent. I think he's dangerous. I think he's a massive puncher. His records show that, and I think he's another great addition to the flyweight division. However, I think he picked the wrong one to come for first, if I'm perfectly honest, because power and crude strength and effort, like them things, I rub my hands together when that's the opponent's approach. I think he'll be there to get hit all night. I think he'll be easy to make miss. He'll be predictable, very powerful, very strong. So I've got to stay on it, but that's what I live for. And then if say the Martinez fight ends up happening or never does, I don't know. It's another fight in that direction. If anything, I think Felix Alvarado is genuinely, and you can headline this, I genuinely think Felix Alvarado is a harder fight for me than Martinez. Go and watch him, go and watch his style, go and watch how he cuts the ring down, how he throws whilst cutting the distance. Martinez plants his feet 3 feet out and then hopes it's still there when he lets his hands go, and then falls in and tries to elbow and headbutting it. Alvarado is very good at sort of beating his opponents into submission, so like I said, it's a fight I know I've got to be switched on for. And the turn of events, I was meant to be going to Mexico to make the fight happen, but now it looks like I'm getting my homecoming in London that I've sort of been cheated out on. You know what I mean? I won my world title behind closed doors. I defended it twice in Dubai, and I was meant to go to Mexico, so people for the last 2-3 years have been dying to buy a ticket to come watch me in London, my hometown, so hopefully it capitalises into a good event.
Hopefully it can. Obviously it's a bit of a different question. Obviously we've seen that you're now managing fighters. Most fighters don't actually do that until the end of the career. Can I just go into why you're doing that, and will you keep in the sport? Obviously, well, it's a long way away, will you still manage fighters after your career is finished?
Yeah, I feel like boxing's all I've ever really done consistently. I've never worked, I've never had a job. I've been of independent means since I was 18, largely responsible and thanks to boxing, so I don't see this as work. I've started helping some fighters, sort of advising them and putting them to people and the right manager, and I've been doing that for years and years. And now I'm in a position where I'm working alongside some well-established managers, and I've just got my input, my influence, my promotion, my love and support, because all the people I deal with, like I could say the 3 people that I've got any sort of relationship with really is Essomba, Levi Kinciona and Nikolai Campbell. They're 3 of my good friends, they're 3 of people that I interact with. I just want them protected. I'm not trying to make money, I'm trying to gain experience. I'm trying to link up people. In boxing, like any business, like any industry, you are only the conversations you are able to have. Genuinely, the conversations that you can start, finish and close, that is your worth in boxing. If you haven't got a name that rings on someone's phone and they want to do business with you, you're struggling. Do you know what I mean? So right now I'm just trying to establish the already strong links that I've got. I've always been very good at working in business because I'm very realistic, I'm very respectful, I'm very honest. I don't do anything underhand. I don't leave someone have a conversation feeling one way and then it being different by the next time we spoke. I'm very consistent, and yeah, look, we've gotten some opportunities. Thomas has been a bit more frustrating. We've got him over in Denmark, got that win straight away. Then we had the British title final eliminator against Marcel Braithwaite. Everything perfect, decent money, decent exposure, decent platform, decent fight, everything we wanted, and then his opponent pulled out a week before. And then made out he had a bad shoulder, but then fights like 6 weeks, 8 weeks later against a kid that had 0 and 29 losses.
So you fought, I think it was last Friday on the Liverpool card.
Saying, oh, my shoulder's fine now. Well, why didn't you fight Thomas if your shoulder's fine?
Is that still a fight that can happen?
Won. Well, it has to. If Marcel goes anywhere apart from Thomas, then Thomas is in his place for the British. Like, I mean, he clears off. The next person that comes in, below them there's Craig Derbyshire and someone, and above them there's Ayers and Kademi. So if Marcel doesn't fight Thomas, he's got to get out of line. He can fuck off. It's painful trying to deal with them because they're all right people. They're sound. I have a good laugh with them. But Marcel and his trainer Wayne, genuinely so deluded to the reality of boxing. They have no real idea, like the grasp of what they ask for and what they expect and where they think they are in the world of boxing. So sometimes it's painfully hard trying to get any reasonable conversation out of them, so I don't even bother. You had Wayne on the phone to Lee Eaton, my business partner, saying that there's an opportunity. Well, we were saying to them there's an opportunity on the 17th show, but we don't like. He weren't fully ready. 8 days notice or something, 9 days notice when he hasn't had a fight for so long. And their initial response was, yeah, we're not fighting Thomas in next week. Fine, sound, didn't happen. But then wants to go on Twitter 2 days later talking about, so after all that shit Sonny's talking and tagging me going, we want the fight and you don't want it. Just absolute like he thinks he's sat there laughing thinking it's banter. I'm sitting there thinking you are a fucking muppet. Like you are like an actual idiot. Like an actual like clueless, deluded fool. Because what they try and do is they try and paint narratives publicly that don't exist privately. When he came down and sparred, I had him as a paid sparring partner, Marcel. 2 hands, I punched his head in. I think he did 5, maybe 6 rounds and was fucked at the end of it. I did rounds with Thomas, I think, exact same rounds in with him. Maybe even had 3 sparring partners that day. Punched his head in, easy, laughed, walking down, my hands down, battered him. Had about 15, 20 witnesses, 3 gyms were here. He wants to beat Scott Allen, a fucking journeyman, for a fucking paid $5 grand thingy WBC international title. And then go, everyone knows what's happening in that sparring, lads. I licked him. He didn't do nothing. He came down my gym and got punched in my head. Yeah, you put me down in a fight where I had no hands going in and still played with him, laughable. From the moment I got put down, I got up and punched his head in and was laughing at him. 2 rounds later, he couldn't even throw punches back. He had to have his hands down here, like useless. And Thomas would batter him. But that's why it's so annoying that they'll just try and put out mad narratives to sue him. They turned down the fight, they pulled out the fight, they've had no trying to get the fight made. They've gone away and fought a fucking 0-30 journeyman that they wouldn't fought before.
Have you tried to make the fight now? Are you going to do that now? I know you said you're not going to want to talk to them.
We've reached out and there's no response. Now, I do not need to do business conversations. I've got someone very astute, Lee Eaton, who have them talk, but I wouldn't talk to Wayne anyway. I wouldn't talk to him. If I see him now, I probably wouldn't talk to him. He's so like, he's funny in the sense of like, I've known him, I've been around him a few years, but like, anytime it's something where he thinks he's being smart and like, he's just fucking stupid, man. It's like, he literally, what he knows about boxing, you could write up on the fucking, the back of a stamp and post it. Like, genuinely, like, he knows very, and he's probably thinking I'm gonna be, like, he's gonna probably defend him all that we're bantering, because I know that when he says his shit, he'll say to people, mutual friends, like, oh, why are you saying that? He'll be like, it's just a laugh, it's just a laugh. But like, I genuinely think he knows fuck all about boxing, from his arse to his elbow, as and that's why Marcel was useless, won't ever do anything. They're living off getting an exaggerated purse to fight me, just because for the 2 years around me, no one would fight them. So I know what they got paid, and even then it wasn't great money. I was getting paid more, but like, because of that, they think that's their worth in boxing. When no, you got a little bit of a top up, because no one else would fight me, and that is your worth. You was a relatively decent loser against me, and a relatively decent loser against Jay Harris. Got beat clear by both. Thomas will knock him out.
You confident that Thomas will knock him out?
Knock him out. He hits too hard, Thomas, and Marcel too easy to hit.
I know you did say, obviously, it was on Twitter, the back and forth. Obviously, the Twitter troll that come down here and you did have a few rounds with. Why do you deal with Twitter trolls in that way? Obviously, I've seen you answer them all the time.
But Twitter trolls are just people, yeah? And we're only interactive through the internet, that's all it is. But, like right now, there's 2 lads here behind the camera. You could say anything you want and act any sort of way. In a boxing gym, you're probably not going to call me a little cunt. You're probably not going to say you would punch my head in. You probably wouldn't. But on Twitter, you get it all the time. So mine is, we are a public gym. Anyone can walk in here. Look at you two, like, anyone can walk in at any time. Don't get me wrong, when they're pros, they'll get told to stand outside or come in when the gym's open. But the gyms are open. And if someone turns up to my house asking for my address and saying they're going to walk around screaming on my cowl, you know what I mean? I've got my street credibility to maintain. But nah, that was just stupid. I probably wouldn't do it too much like that again. Maybe it was an opportunity to exercise the difference between a professional athlete that trains for fighting purposes to someone that, like, okay, he's probably an extreme example, yeah. But even people that think they're handy and that.
You don't see many people like that.
Let's take this for example, yeah. You see all the useless YouTube boxers that have been doing it now for about a year or 2 years, maybe 3. They're looking wicked and knocking everyone else out now. Enis and Gibb, Deji, never won before, lost every time, but because they've stuck to something for 2 years, now they're versus someone that's been 3 months, and the worlds apart, and they're battling them, knocking them out, and he put him in hospital the other day. He needs to put that Austin McBroom in hospital the other day, because obviously he's been training now for 2-3 years since the first, and he hasn't. But what I'm saying is, look at the difference between a YouTube nerd putting 2-3 years into a boxing ring and then fighting another person similar that hasn't. Look at the over-glaring difference in physical acumen in having a fight.
What's your opinion on the whole YouTube boxing scene?
Wicked. I've been to many a boxing show this year and other years, and I tell you one thing. I couldn't tell you one boxing show I've been to outside of KSI and Swan / Pinard or whatever his name was, that had sold out venue at all, really, most of the time. Sold out, people there from 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, doors open till the doors closed. It was like a WWE event, it wasn't a boxing show.
I'm pretty sure the last time that the O2 was sold out and we were there was Lone Tango versus Luke.
My brother boxed Martinez that night.
That was the last time when that was sold out, and now KSI is selling out that.
But when my brother boxed at 8, 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, well, 9 or 8, whatever, was there 20,000 people in there? No. That's what I'm saying is, so whatever you think about them, they know how to captivate an audience, they know how to promote, they know how to market, they know how to do just little something that's viral and that people speak about and people buzz off because you're showing a little bit more of something different they've not seen before. So do I think it's bad for boxing? No, I think it gets more eyes and more attraction and more attention and more everything to boxing, genuinely. And I think what happens is they come for the YouTubers, and now they might think, oh, I don't want to go down a boxing gym, or oh, what about the other fighters? And then they start looking at like an actual, legit, genuine Terence Crawford or a Nayo Inoue, or they get their attention onto one of them fighters, and the sort of seeds that were planted by KSI or whoever else, or Jake Paul, will then turn into like potentially, for some people, it might only be like a 1% acquisition, but there will be some people that will latch onto boxing from it. And I think if you can get one person doing that, then that's a good thing for boxing. They're making money doing anything. They could be doing slap contests, they could be doing arm wrestles, they could be doing Pokemon battles, they could be sitting in the middle of the O2 playing Xbox against each other. Because they generate that much regardless of what they're doing. What I think everyone's realised now, which is good for boxers, good for boxing, that outside of anything we'd rather see two people pitting against each other, one-on-one, a boxing fight is probably the best thing to watch. When you know both people. The problem is with boxing, there's too many spaces where you only know one of the people. Because that's priority, building, making money on the contract. Hence why, back to my original point, any opponent that's got a name is the opponent I want. It's like, it's annoying now. There'll be good fighters that I won't really want to fight just because you haven't really got a name. I know you're a good fighter. Go do something. Like, I'll be waiting for you. Like, but what's the point of me fighting you now? So I'll beat a good fighter now, get no credit for it. They'll then go in a few years. Like Guanero's, I beat him easy, roll the eyes. He went and beat Tommy Frank twice, and I was like 7th for the IBF, top 15 in the world. But he barely got within
I feel like
punching distance.
The Martinez fight has actually shown that you do want every single fight out there.
And that my team's ready.
See that.
And that my team was ready to send me over straight over there. I was willing to take the tax of going over there, the percent down to my promoter, this, that and the third, nutritionist, flights, hotel, like go there 6 weeks before. I was ready for everything. I was ready to play ball with everything they needed. And I promise you, the money I agreed to wasn't asking for the world. They offered something, I counter offered 100 grand more, and they accepted. 24 hours, that was on negotiation. They offered something, I offered 100 grand more to the exact, and I got it. But now I haven't for the fight now.
Thank you for that, Sonia. It was the best of luck against Felix Aguilera.